Hello, welcome to Mornings at the Allotment. It's 6:15 on the 2nd of August and I've been at the plot for about half an hour trying to beat the heat since we have temperatures above 30 degrees again this week. Probably not too bad today, but the next couple of days are more likely to be 35 to 38 degrees. So yeah, whenever I can manage it, I try to get up here early to do some watering, to do the harvesting, and a bit of weeding, although I have to say weeding is not my top priority. Since I've been missing for such a long time, and since I'm done with what I have to do and don't have to be at work for another hour, I decided to give you a little glimpse of the plot today. So since this wasn't planned, I don't have a gimbal, I don't have a microphone, I'm just holding my phone in my hands, but I figured I owed you this at least. As you can see, we do have tomatoes. They've been a bit slow, to tell the truth, mainly because I've had to take quite a few of them off with blossom end rot. And we've had flowers dying and falling off as well, simply because it was too hot. We've had 2 spells of temperatures far above 30 degrees, almost 40, and for most of the plants that's just been too much. Also, I have some plants that look like they've been touched by herbicides in the potting compost, like this one. It is still growing, and I think it was only in the potting compost because everything else I had was organic. But I did have 1 bag of potting compost that was peat-free but not organic. And the plants that I put into the ground early survived pretty well. Others, like this one, are showing damage but are growing and producing. And the ones that I left in the pots with just that potting compost, they died on me. Yeah. These are looking pretty good. Yeah, the San Marzano have been really bad. I've had to take off like most of the fruit with blossom end rot. They appear to be these are looking good. They appear to be the ones with the most issues along here. I'm not even sure if you've seen this. I'm trying to make the garden a bit nicer to look at and also to grow upright. So over here we have cucumbers. Yes, they have mildew, but they're still producing, so I'm leaving them in. And on the other side I have some beans growing. Oh, I'm going to have to add to the poles at the top because they've reached the end. And here I have the cucumber melons. So the greenhouse, as usual, is a jungle. We have aubergines growing along here, and I do have fruit. Let me see if I can find it for you. Not quite ripe yet, and oh, this one as well, not quite ripe yet. Oh, that's not, oh. Yeah, it looks like blossom end rot as well, but I will let it ripen and then see. Oh, look. I have 1 cucumber plant back here that is producing like crazy. It's just 1 plant, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 almost ripe fruit. I harvested 1 this morning, and there's more, and up there, yeah, it's just 1 plant. And then I have 1 lemon cucumber in here as well. And back there, 1 plant, Minnesota midgets. I'm going to have to tie those up because they're not getting any sun, so they're having a hard time ripening. Yeah, that's looking really, really good. And it has more fruit on it, but these are the 2 largest. And I'm going to have to try to figure out what's what in here because I really have to start cutting some of these plants back. Over here I have a volunteer tomato plant growing above my peppers. So I have 2 jalapenos, 2 cayenne plants, 2 lila luzzi, and back here 2 habanero. I still have a couple of plants that need to be put outside. Oh, and I just realized I appear to have some kind of caterpillar on here, so I'm gonna have to check that later on. Back here in the corner is another container of cucamelon and lots of plants, way too many plants in pots that actually need to go in the ground as soon as the ground is workable, because quite honestly it's too hard at the moment. It's not completely dried out, but it's too hard. There's my onion harvest that is now ready to be hung up, I think, and a volunteer sunflower. Yeah, the birds dropped a seed, and there's actually more down here as well. As I did last year, and you can see how well they're growing, I have my winter squash in the same spot. I did have some slug issues, so it's not looking too great over here, and I really need to do some weeding, as you can tell, quickly before that seeds itself. And yeah, this basically is a wasteland. No, actually it's not a wasteland, it's not that bad, but this needs to come out. It's a tarragon plant that we're actually removing from this spot because it's shading everything else that's beneath it. We have the bay there and the rosemary. Yeah, and this tarragon is actually a Russian tarragon and not a French tarragon, so we want to get rid of it anyway. And we have a French tarragon that we're going to put in another part of the garden. Then I have a little melon here. It's a F1 variety called Artemis. And as you can see, I just plunked it in here because I had it left over and I had a free space. But I'm not expecting that to really do anything. These are my outdoor melons. This is the Minnesota Midget, which has lots of flowers but no fruit. And the sugar baby back here. And then this is the Melons de Luneville. This is the French variety I'm growing, also flowers but no fruit. But in all honesty, I'm not really expecting much from this anyway. And that just reminds me, I forgot to show you the watermelon in the greenhouse. I'll do that in a bit. I'm very happy that my flowers are finally growing. This echinacea was grown from seed last year and didn't do much. And I was afraid it wasn't coming back, but it's looking really good now. And the rhubarb is looking really nice as well. And this is my favorite patch, my volunteer patch of small sunflowers. Also, the bird feeder up here. So, volunteer sunflowers, some form of volunteer potato, volunteer tomato, and this I think is, I'm not quite sure. It could be a spaghetti squash. It looks a bit like round zucchini. Oh, actually, I think that's what it is. Look at this one. Definitely looks like round zucchini. I'm gonna give this another day or two and then harvest it and just cut it open and see. Yeah, it could be, because I did have some seeds that didn't sprout and I dumped everything on the compost pile, so that's probably it. And this one is either an overripe zucchini that I missed or some kind of, I don't know, volunteer hybrid that I don't really want to eat. So we'll harvest it when ripe and see whether it tastes bitter, and if it's not bitter we can eat it. If it's bitter, it goes in the trash. And I have another set of you can barely see it in between the weeds. More cucumber plants growing back here because I know I always get issues with mildew. So yeah, I planted some extras here, and they're very late because I forgot to plant them out. I had them in their pots in the greenhouse, but my first ever sweet peas. These are the soybeans from my soybean trial that I'm taking part of, called 1000 Gärten. Unfortunately, they haven't liked the heat too much. I've been watering them, but yeah, they're not looking quite as they should, but we'll see. Maybe they'll still catch up. Over here we have some cucumbers that are slowly stopping production. I've been cutting back the leaves here, you can tell. I've been cutting back hard, pruning them hard, and I think now it's just time to take them out and put something else in their place. Probably my winter brassicas. What's doing really well this year is all the peppers. I have the sweet peppers here. Although, yeah, these are actually grown for spice back here, but everything else is a sweet pepper. And look, I've actually managed to grow a cauliflower, and it's still white even in the heat. I'm very impressed with that. I have some more beetroot growing here. Lots of bindweed as well. You know this bed if you've been following me for a while. And then the smaller varieties of tomatoes, snacking tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, and also whatever plants I had left that I couldn't fit in our regular tomato bed. So yeah, I've been harvesting from these. They've actually done better than the ones under cover, most of them. Oh, and kohlrabi. I really need to harvest these, but they're not getting eaten, so... but I think I might actually take this one out when I'm done filming and take it to work. I'm sure someone will eat it. Then in this bed, I've planted the Brussels sprouts and the celery, which went in late, but it looks like it'll work out for me. And then behind the Brussels sprouts, I have some absolutely gorgeous fennel that really, really needs to get harvested. So I'll probably harvest that tomorrow. And what I'm looking forward to especially is all the fennel greens, because those are really very delicious as well. Then chili peppers, more cayenne, all kinds of varieties. Basically the same varieties that I have in the greenhouse, I'm also growing out here. Plus the 4 plants of pimientos de padron, and they're producing so well, and they're absolutely delicious, but it's not just every 10th that's spicy, they're all pretty spicy. And that might have to do with the fact that I haven't been watering all that much, but we like it spicy, so they're perfect. Yeah. Different varieties back here. Then down here I have mildew again. One green zucchini, courgette, and one yellow zucchini or courgette plant. A couple of leeks back here that aren't looking all that great, so I'm gonna have to take that out as well. And one also not quite healthy. I just don't have the time to do it. Patty pan. Let me see, white patty pan. Here. They end up truly white. Or cream. And over here I have one sweet potato plant in the tub, and the sunchokes, Jerusalem artichokes, and I'm trying to grow some late planted early potatoes this year, and they're coming up nicely. Well, most of them are, so I can't wait to see how those do. And I've put them in containers, so when it gets too cold I can just pop them in the greenhouse or in our shed to keep them warmer. Basil, more basil, That's something that didn't work out last year at all. So this year I planted quite a bit of that and didn't know where to put it, so I put it in the containers because it's kind of hard to weed around the basil in the beds. I do have some under the tomatoes though. Then an onion I need to harvest. This is where I have my carrots. Again, like last year, germination wasn't too great, but I do have a couple. And one thing that didn't germinate at all, not the first time I tried, not the second time I tried, was the parsnips, even though I had fresh seed. So I just put a load of radishes in here and some beetroot over here. As promised, I'm going to try to show you my melons. This is the watermelon, as you can see by the leaves. It's growing up here. And this is the largest fruit I have. There's another one, let me see, up here. And I'm probably going to really have to cut this back. And this is actually what the Melons de Luneville look like. I'm sorry about the sun in the background. This is what the Melons de Luneville look like. This is the biggest one I have on this plant, and I have more growing. So yeah, I will definitely be doing quite a bit of cutting back here and trying to get the fruit that I do have to ripen. You don't want the plants to set too many fruit, or they'll put all their strength into new growth, and the smaller fruit and won't ripen the larger ones. Especially the watermelon. I think if it can manage 2 fruit, then it'll be actually a success. Yeah, so as you can tell, I'm really barely keeping up. I try to get to the plot between 5:30 and 7:30 in the morning. I need to be at work 9 a.m. at the latest, so depending on what the weather's like, 7:30 is 24, 25 degrees, and that just gets too hot in the full sun that we have on our plot. And yeah, so like today, when it's going to be hot, it's 19 degrees now, and that's fine. But other days I just spend an hour here watering and then head to work. And that's also the reason why I haven't been filming. Well, the main reason I haven't been filming, because when I'm here, I'm actually working, and in the heat of the day, I can't do any filming either. So I apologize, but the garden comes first. And this is authentic. I'm not a YouTuber, I'm a gardener who does a YouTube channel. So yeah, the garden comes first, the plants come first, and I'm trying to keep up with that mainly. To all my subscribers who've stuck around, thanks for not leaving me over the past couple of months. I'm sure there will be better times again. To anyone who's new to the channel, I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe go back and watch last year's videos. It's not very comparable because this year has been so much drier and warmer, but you'll see the difference in the garden. That's actually quite interesting as well. Hit the like button if you've liked this video, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye for now.